God's grace is permanent. You find that in Romans 8, verse 35. Nothing can separate us from the love of God. Nothing can separate us from God's favor. Nothing can separate you from the grace and the kindness of our God. The third benefit is that it justified us. You remember in Romans 3 verse 23 and 24, the Bible says, all have sinned and they fell short of the glory of God, but justified through faith. So we all sinned and we fell short of the glory of God. But God, through his grace, he justified us. He made us just as if we've never sinned. He made us just as if we were never lost, but he brought us close and he qualified us. That's what God did. He lifted us because we came short of the glory. That means in my mind, I have a picture of a person who is stepped down, who stooped down and he has fallen. But through his grace, God elevates you. He lifts you up back to the right standard, back to the right level. That's what the grace of God does. Number 4, God's grace is sufficient. It is good enough for you. According to 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 9, God says to Paul, my grace is sufficient for you. I don't know what is it that you're going through right now. I don't know the situation in your life and the battles that you are facing in your walk with Christ. But I want to say this. The grace of God is sufficient to put you through, to pull you through whatever valley you find yourself in. And then lastly, the grace of God teaches us to live the God kind of life. It teaches us to live according to godly standards. The Bible says in Titus 2 verse 11 and 12, for the grace of God has appeared to all men, and it teaches us to say no to ungodliness. So it is the grace that allows us to live a godly life. It is the grace of God that allows us to walk in the path that God has prepared for us in his word.